Each FVUSMORITMDURAVERTICALD D30 machine has an installation package associated with it and comes with a manual and component kit. The kit contains all the parts necessary to install the chip blaster to the machine both electrically and mechanically. For instance, you'll find a control interface cable with a Mori style plug. There's also a larger power interface cable. It too has a Mori interface plug. Next is the standpipe assembly, which is designed as a direct replacement on the Mori sump. The direct panel replacement interface assembly is easily recognizable. It will have numerous colored wires attached to it. And finally, the kit will have a plastic bag with miscellaneous components needed for electrical and mechanical interfacing. Now that we know what our parts are, let's go to work. But before we do, make sure the Mori Seiki is powered down and the main disconnect is off as well. Once that's done, we can move on to step number 1, found on page 5 of your manual. Looking at the machine tool sump, locate the spare pump cover plate. Remove the plate and replace it with the supplied chip blaster standpipe assembly. This is done by using an Allen head wrench and removing 4 bolts. Next, you're going to want to locate the Mori through spindle high pressure hose and connect it to the chip blaster hose using the supplied connectors. Attach the 1-inch suction line to the chip blaster. You'll then fill the hose with the coolant that the machine will be running, then connect it to the standpipe using 1-inch worm drive hose clamps. Now it's time to move on to the electrical side of things. Locate the spare panels on the side of the Mori electrical enclosure. Remove the center panel and replace the supplied panel with the chip blaster plugs already installed. Install the 25 amp breaker supplied with the chip blaster. Connect the 3-phase power wires from the chip blaster interface to the bottom of the 25 amp breaker. Using the ring terminals and the remaining power wire, connect the 3-phase power to the top of the 25 amp breaker and the bus bars on the bottom of the Mori main disconnect. Now we're ready to locate motor starter KM84. Move wire 24NC from pin 22 to pin 14. Connect the chip blaster interface wires to KM84 as follows. Wire E2 will connect to pin 21. Wire E will connect to pin 14. Wire 1 will connect to pin A1, and wire COM1 will connect to pin A2. This completes the electrical and mechanical installation of the chip blaster. Our next step is to activate the high pressure coolant. The first thing you'll need to do is hook up your power interface cable into the newly installed Mori interface panel, followed by plugging in the control interface cable. Next, head over to the chip blaster and do the exact same thing. If the Mori does not already have the keep relays energized to activate through the spindle coolant option, it will be necessary to activate this relay. In order to activate the relay, you will need to power up the Mori Seiki Duravert and the controller. From the MDI mode on the controller, navigate to the keep relay screen on the controller. In order to get there though, you're going to have to hit a couple buttons in succession first, starting with the OFS set button. Following that is the setting soft key button, then the number 1 button, followed by input, system, and then there's a couple of soft keys you're going to need to push. First off, it's the PMC-PRM soft key, then it's the KEE-PRL soft key. Now, using the arrow button, scroll down to K06 and over to the 5-bit location. Then you're going to press the number 1 button, followed by the input button. The 5-bit location should have changed to a number 1. Again, go back to the arrow button, scrolling down now to K14 and over to the 4-bit location. Once again, you're going to hit the number 1 button, followed by the input button. That should have changed the 4-bit location to a number 1. Finally, you're going to need to press the OFS set button one more time, then hit 0 followed by input. The final action needed is to press the reset button. Your chip blaster can now be tested and the Mori Seiki is ready to run using the existing through spindle M code.